Okay, we will get started in a couple of minutes, but if you're here and can hear me, I have got a blanket that we're going to, and that I'll sit on for a little bit, but also we're going to lay on these, a rolled blanket. So you can grab a throw blanket that's not fluffy, or a towel, like a bath towel or a beach towel would be fine. But if you're here already, I think there's one person
Good
here.
morning.
Yeah, Jen is here so far. Go grab a blanket and we'll see if anyone else comes this morning. A rolled blanket. We'll wait a couple more minutes. All right. So if you didn't hear me earlier, I've got a blanket. So let's start with a rolled blanket. And make sure everyone is muted for the recording. And we will go ahead and start. So this month, we're talking about faith. And today's practice, I really just want to focus on our heart as a place of knowing. The scriptures teach us, right, that we get a burning in our heart, that the Spirit will teach us in our heart and in our mind. We can know things rationally, but we can also argue with ourselves, logic ourselves, and get really confused if we rely solely on the thinking, logical, reasoning mind. And to really know something, we need to feel it and know it in our heart. And our heart is interesting because it has a lot of neural cells. In a lot of ways, our heart is a brain. It creates a rhythm that keeps our whole body in sync, and it's an electrical generator. And so, and our brain runs on this electrical current. They work in concert with each other to keep our bodies alive, but and also in so many ways that we don't even comprehend or understand, but we experience day in and day out. Right? Our heart is a place of intuition. It's a projector, right? The electromagnetic field that our heart creates is projected, and that could be considered our aura. But electrocardiograms can pick up that signal from up to 9 feet away. And so the quality of the energy and the feelings that we harbor there in that space are projected out to those around us. And it's a gatherer of information. And it's a place that we can be aware from. So as we practice today, that's my invitation for you to explore, is to notice where it is that you're aware from. We'll do a heart opening practice. And I also want you just to experiment with noticing, am I being aware from this place in my head? And can I let that awareness sink down into my heart space and be more aware from my heart? So we're going to start laying on our backs. And if you have a rolled blanket or towel, I just want you to roll it up so it's, like 3 or 4 inches thick. And so you don't have to roll it all the way. If you need to have it partially unrolled, that's fine. We're going to lay on the roll just behind our shoulder blades. And for later in the practice, I also have a block handy. If you have one, you can grab it, but it's not totally necessary. But go ahead and lay down on your rolled blanket with that roll kind of right where your bra strap is, just above it, underneath the bottom edge of your shoulder blades, and let your head come to the floor. And your shoulders will be on the ground, your arms on the ground above your roll. Now, if it's too big, or if this is a too intense of pressure in your upper spine, then just unroll it some so it's less. Okay. And so, like I said, you could have it unrolled a bit. Just so that we've got this little lift under the heart. And let your arms, just your elbows be bent. Let yourself lay on the floor. And just notice the space you have for your breath. Your knees can be bent with your feet flat on the floor or legs long. And let's see if you can just breathe in and out of your nose and let your rib cage expand in 360 degrees. So as you inhale, think of expanding out to the sides, down into the blanket underneath you, and up toward the ceiling. And as you exhale, you can let all of that rebound back in toward the center. Let's just move into a 4-count breath. So inhale to a count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Pause. Now keep going at your own pace with your own rhythm. And notice where it is that you are aware from. Feel that sense of awareness. See if you can locate it in your body. Where are you in your body? When I get curious about that, I usually find myself in my head, just right behind my eyes. And see if you can sink that sense of awareness down to your heart space. And breathe and be aware from there. Let's take one more full round of breath here, in stillness. We'll just find some movement with our arms. So as an inhale, with your inhale, just stretch your right arm. Let the back of your hand stay on the floor. Just stretch your right arm tall alongside your ear. Really stretch it away from you as far as you can. And then just let go of that effort and let it rebound. So it's kind of like you're stretching a rubber band and then just letting it relax back. Just switch to your left arm. Lengthen through that left arm. Let it go as long as it can. And then just rebound. Let it come back. And just alternate sides. Now, at any point, if the blanket underneath you just gets to be too much for your spine, you can always take it out. And just inhale and reach long, and then rebound back. Inhale and reach long, and then rebound back. And just go back and forth. Let's just do one more on each side. Stretching that right arm long, letting it rebound back. We'll end with your left arm. We're going to roll over onto our right side. So just gently roll. I'm going to shimmy myself down so the roll of my blanket is in my armpit. Okay. And I'm just going to bring my head to my hand. So I've got my right elbow bent and I've got this roll in my armpit. And just let yourself kind of rock forward and back. Just get into all that connective tissue and those muscles there. And just massage that rotator cuff with the roll of your blanket just forward and back. Doing this for selfish reasons because I've been stand-up paddleboarding lately. And yeah, so my shoulders are kind of tight. So just rock back and forth a little there. And we'll just simply roll to the other side. So roll over onto your left and just bring that left armpit over the roll of your blanket. Just let your knees be bent. Head in your hand, and you can just roll forward and back. Just for a couple breaths, just kind of settle down there. And it may feel tender. It may just be kind of nothing, feeling like nothing's happening, but you're just warming those tissues there and kind of letting them slide and glide past each other. And then go ahead and take your blanket and just pull it out from underneath you, slide it away, and come back onto your back without anything underneath you. We'll roll over onto the right side, knees bent, and just let your arms go straight out in front of you. I'm going to stack my left hand on top of my right, and my knees are stacked on top of each other and bent. Take my left fingertips and just sweep them overhead. And then out to the left, peeling my heart open into a twist. And then I'm going to keep making a circle with this left arm. It's just going to come past my left hip and come back to where it started. Just great big huge circles. So you're just drawing a big circle with this left arm. Letting it twist you open and back. Let's do one last one. And when you come open into your twist, just let yourself roll all the way onto your back. Knees bent, feet flat on the floor. Let your hands come down by your hips. Do a couple of rounds of dynamic bridge. Your feet are hip distance apart and parallel. And as you inhale, just gently lift your hips and let your arms sweep up overhead. Backs of hands come to the floor over above you. And then exhale. Just lower yourself down. Move here with your breath, just letting your arms sweep up and back. And you don't have to lift high. We're just still getting acquainted with our bodies in this new day. Next time you come down, we'll roll over onto the left side. So left arm straight in front of you, stack that right hand on top, set up for your arm circle twists here, and just take those right fingertips, draw that big circle above your head, open out to the right, and then let that hand slide back past your hip to where you started. Open up and out and back around. And do your third and final one. Just swimming that arm around. Open into your twist and then let yourself come back onto your back. And this time we'll do some bridge, but I want you to interlace your fingers and reach them up toward the ceiling. Your feet are hip distance apart and parallel, pretty close to your bum. As you inhale, lift your hips and just open your palms and bring them towards your heart. And then exhale, lower your hips down and reach your knuckles toward the ceiling. So you'll inhale the lift and exhale, lower and reach your knuckles up. Got this pumping action happening with your hands. And I want you to feel that space behind your heart, space between your shoulder blades. And maybe feel your shoulder blades spread apart as you reach your knuckles toward the ceiling. And feel your shoulder blades come together on your back as you bring your hands towards your heart and lift your hips. Let's just do one more round there. As you inhale, lift your hips, let your hands come to your heart, and then release your hands down by your sides. Wiggle your shoulder blades together and really push your triceps into the floor, the backs of your upper arms. Okay. And then just lift your right heel. So let your right toes stay on the floor and then bring it to the floor. And then lift your left heel and bring it to the floor. See if you can find some space in your lower back. Kind of feel like you're lifting up through your pubic bone. Your tailbone is pointing the same direction as your knees as you just go back and forth, lifting and lowering your heels. All right, lift your right heel and then bring it down, and then try to keep your heel down and lift your right toes up off the floor. And then switch that effort. Lift your left heel. And then lift your left toes. And keep going there. Let's see, someone is not able to get in. Keep going, and then come down in your bridge. And just rest there. Sorry. Take your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees knock together. You can find some windshield wipering of your knees from side to side. And then toe heel your feet back to hip distance apart. Draw your shoulder blades together. And find that awareness in your heart space as you lift your hips up off the floor. And now bring your weight into your left foot and just lift your whole right foot up off the floor an inch. And then let it come down and then do the other side. Just lift that left foot up an inch off the floor and go back and forth there. Now try to keep that lifted foot hip level with the other. Feel the engagement you need through your whole back body to support you. As you just go back and forth, lifting that foot just an inch off the floor, your heel and toes, the whole bottom of your foot. Let's go back and forth, right and left, and then lower yourself down. You're gonna find those windshield wipers again. And then bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees go wide. Find some containment from your lower belly here. So you're not over exaggerating your lower back curve with this arrangement of your pelvis. Push the soles of your feet into each other. Push your pinky toe edges of your feet into the floor and just lift your hips up here. And then lower down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And this time lift and pause. Keep your feet exactly as they are. Just let your knees come closer to each other and then farther apart. Closer and then farther. Closer and then farther. Keep your hips lifted, closer and farther. One more time. Closer and farther. And then lower yourself down. You're going to hug both knees into your chest. Rock a little from side to side. And then keep a hold of this left leg with both hands and let your right leg go long. And really think about breathing some length into the front of this right hip. Finding a neutral spine so you've got a little bit of space underneath your lower back, but your whole rib cage is on the floor. The back of your head is on the floor. And then take your left hand and just take it on top of your knee and steer this left knee in circles. One direction and then the other. And then find those circles with your knee without your hand helping. Just one direction and then the other. Bring that knee towards your armpit and then use your hand to grab your outer left foot and just find a half happy baby pose. So your left knee is coming outside of your rib cage. You can resist your left hand into your left foot into your left hand. And then reach both arms overhead. Just keep that left knee bent. You're gonna bring it over to your right. And then use that leg, keep it where it is and roll all the way onto your belly. Come up onto your forearms. So you're in a sphinx here with your left leg up towards your armpit. And then push into that left knee, flex through your left foot and just lift that left foot up off the floor and lower. And do that about 4 times. Lift and lower, lift and lower, lift and lower. And then you can slide that left leg back. So you're here in a sphinx. Feel your shoulder blades on your back, and then let your shoulder blades draw up toward your ears. And then see if you can spread them apart. So draw your shoulders toward each other in front of you. And then push the floor away, shoulder blades down your back, and then let them come together. Together and up. And see if you can draw some circles with your shoulder blades on your back here. And see if you can switch directions. The shoulder circles you make here with your forearms on the floor, laying on your belly. And then lengthen your right arm on the floor. Take your left arm straight out to the left. You can lift your head and just lift that left arm. Look at your left hand to bring yourself all the way back onto your back. Bring your right knee into your chest. Just give it a hug. Lengthen through the front of that left hip. Then use that right hand to steer your right knee in circles. And then see if you can switch directions. And then let go and just do those circles, both directions without your hand. And then draw that knee towards your armpit. Reach with your right hand for your outer right foot. Find a half happy baby pose. Say hello to your hamstrings and your hip. Breathe there. Keep your leg where it is. Reach your arms overhead. And then take this right knee over to your left. And let that roll you onto your belly. Keep that right knee bent. Come up onto your forearms. And greet that inner thigh. Push your inner right knee into the floor. Flex your right foot and then lift your right foot up off the floor and then lower. Just 4 internal rotation there. Lift that foot and lower. Lift and lower, and then lengthen your leg behind you. Find that sphinx, push into your elbows, and then drop your chin. Just let yourself tuck and round here. And then draw your sternum up. Draw your lower ribs together. Let your spine really round. Maybe even the top rim of your pelvis comes up off the floor. And then drop your belly down. Reach your heart forward. Feel like you're dragging your hands back without moving them anywhere, and pull your heart through your upper arm bones. And go through those spinal flexions and extensions a few more times at your own pace, really rounding into your back and then really lengthening through your heart. One more round. Lengthen. Let yourself really breathe in and out of your nose. Lengthen your left arm straight forward, right arm out to the side. And then keep your head lifted. Just let your gaze follow your right thumb as it rolls you back over onto your back. And then hug your knees into your chest. Again, you can rock from side to side. You can roll to one side or up into hands and knees. So you can roll forward and back. You can roll over to one side. Maybe rock and roll a couple of times. And come onto your hands and knees. Let's do a little bit of wrist prep here. So just kind of paw the ground and let your hands go in different directions. Greet your wrists. Maybe even bring the backs of your hands to the floor. Just load your wrists in a few different ways. You can let your fingers point back towards your knees. And then take a big step forward with your hands. So you're really long in your table. Lift your hips up and drop your heart toward the floor. Stretch through your outer shoulders. And see if you can externally rotate your upper arms. So feel like you're taking your triceps out and hugging them toward each other as your heart drops toward the floor. Lifting up through your sitting bones. And then walk your hands back towards your knees and we'll come into a standing kneel here. Bring your weight down into that left shin and just see that your left toes, heel, ankle, shin, and knee are all in a line. You're not sickling your ankle in. And then lift your right knee up off the floor and see if you can maybe even bring it forward. Find a little bit of balance and then find a place to step that right foot down and then lift it up and go back to where we started. And then just switch sides, left knee up, find your balance. Let's maybe bring it forward, find a place for it to land. Lift it up and come back. And let's just switch sides a few times. Freeing that right foot and bringing it forward. And then bringing it back. And just go slow. And let yourself really play with your balance. Just kind of notice, like with that knee hovering, with it out to the side, with it forward. You can find a place for it to land. Let your right knee come forward. Let that foot land, and then line up your right heel in line with your left knee and feel your balance here. You can wiggle on your foot a little bit. Just notice what things are working to keep your balance. And then we'll shift on this left knee and just twist open to our left. Okay, so your right heel is in line with your left knee. Bring your right hand inside of that right knee and open your left arm out to the left. Then let your heart open here, and then we'll just bend into that left knee and come back out. And bend and come back out. Just a few times. And then cartwheel those left fingertips or hand to the floor. Lengthen through your right leg and reach your right arm up. And then alongside your ear, find a lot of length from that right heel out through your right fingertips. You could rotate your heart up toward the ceiling a little bit. Maybe float that right leg. Maybe bend through that right knee and reach back with your right hand. Pushing your foot into your hand into your foot. Draw your shoulder blades together. Externally rotate your left upper arm. Open back out. And then just cartwheel that right hand down and find your table again. And here, just play with your hands, loading them in different ways. And then set them up so that your fingers are pointing forward, shoulders are over your ears. And see if you can find those shoulder blade circles we found in our Sphinx pose. So you're just moving your shoulder blades. Your arms are staying straight. And sometimes this is a brain exercise, but just see what you can do. And then move the other direction. Walk your hands forward. Keep your hips stacked right over your knees. Drop your heart open through your heart here. Lengthen through your outer arms, your outer armpits, and then wrap those triceps toward each other to feel some stability in your shoulders. And then walk your hands back towards your knees. Come up to that standing kneel And just hover your left knee up off the floor. And then lift it up in front of you. And maybe this time you just keep letting it hover until you bring it back and switch sides. This is super good information for all those little stabilizing muscles closest to your spine. And that's what we want to turn on. We don't want to use all these outer auxiliary muscles. We want to remind our deep core that it's there. So sometimes it feels like, oh, this isn't really that much work, but it is. It's just what our bodies need. See if you can find that balance. Maybe still just hovering. Let's do the left again. And then step that left leg forward. And then find your left heel in line with your right knee. So your left toes, left heel, right knee, heel and toes are all in a line. And it looks like this should be really stable, but you're on a tightrope here. And just notice what muscles turn on to keep you upright. And then we'll pivot on our right knee and turn open to the right. Left heel is in line with that right knee. Left hand inside that left knee, right arm out, and then just bend into that left knee and come on out. Go ahead and bring your right hand to the floor. Left arm up, lengthen through that left leg. Left arm alongside your area. You can find a long side bend here. And then you can play. I want you to feel really stable through this shoulder. So think about taking this right elbow crease and point the same direction as your fingers. Lift your left leg up. And stay there. Maybe bend that knee, heel towards your bum. Maybe reach back with your left hand and grab your foot. Draw your shoulder blades together. Open your heart here. And then lengthen up. Left hand to the floor, left knee to the floor. Find your table pose. Tuck your toes and make your way to downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. And pedal your legs out. Just greet the backs of your legs. Inhale onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees and make your way to the top of your mat. So your feet are parallel with each other. So imagine you've got a line from the base of your second toe to the center of your heel. And those lines are parallel. Bring your hands to your shins, look forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale all the way to standing, reach high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, look forward. Exhale and fold. Inhale to step your left foot back into a lunge, look forward. Exhale your left knee down and just frame this right foot with your hands. As you exhale, straighten through that right leg any amount. You can walk your hands back. Really pay attention to the integrity of your spine. We'll just move back and forth here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Feel like you're drawing that outer right hip crease back and stay flexed through that right foot. Come forward into your lunge. Feel like you're squeezing your knee and your heel toward each other, and then inhale, reach high. And you can find a little bit of tucking of your tailbone here to really lengthen through that left quad and hip flexor. And then bring your arms into a cactus here and let yourself find a heart opener. Breathe into that space. See if you can drop into that place to be your place of awareness. Exhale, hands to the floor. Inhale, step back into a plank, and then lower yourself all the way down onto your belly. And tuck your toes, push all 10 toenails into the floor. Lengthen through the back of your neck and just hover your hands up off the floor. Draw your shoulder blades together, push into your pubic bone, and then lift your heart. You can look forward. See if you can keep your hands hovering and then float them back. And then bend, flex through your wrists, bring them back under your shoulders, plant your hands down, draw your shoulder blades together, and then lift your heart a little higher into a cobra. Lengthen through your lower back, push into your pubic bone, push into your feet. Exhale, lower. Tuck your toes, come up through a table, back to downward facing dog. And pedal out your knees. Inhale onto your tippy toes. Exhale, bend your knees, take a walk to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing, reach high. Exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back. Exhale, right knee down. We're just going to bend and straighten that front knee. So walk your hands back as much as you need to. And just move with your breath. Stay active through that left foot as you straighten that left leg. And honor your spine here. Let's go back one more time. Drawing that left outer hip back. Bend into your knee. Feel like you're squeezing your right knee and your left heel toward each other to come upright. Reach your arms high. You can engage through that right glute and lift up on your lower belly right above your pubic bone and find some length through the front of that right hip. Draw your elbows down, open your heart here. But at the same time, see if you can soften those lower ribs down. So you're not hinging at that vertebrae at the base of your rib cage. You're just finding a smooth, gradual curve through your spine. Exhale, hands down. Inhale through your plank. Exhale to lower to your belly. Draw your elbows in towards your rib cage. Push into all 10 of your toenails. Push down into your pubic bone. Lift the back of your head with a long neck. Float your hands up off the floor. And then reach them back. Flex through your wrists. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Plant your hands down. Draw those shoulder blades in toward each other. Lift into your cobra. And then lower down. Find your way to hands and knees. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Breathe through your nose. And just take a moment here to notice where it is that you are aware from. Do you find that sense of place in your body, your place of awareness in your head? Can you sink that into your heart and breathe that kind of expansive field there? Inhale onto your tippy toes, look forward. Exhale, bend your knees. Make your way to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale to standing, reach high. And exhale, hands to your heart. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold. We're going to do that same thing again with that knee down lunge. If that bending and straightening is hard on your grounded kneecap, you can always grab that blanket or towel and put it down to pad your knee. So we'll inhale, left foot back into a lunge. Exhale that left knee down. So here's where you could put your folded blanket. And then float your hands back by your hips and come on up. Reach your arms high. And then let yourself straighten through that right leg. Just bring your hands by your hips and bow here. And then bend into your knee and reach up. So we'll do this without our hands grounded this time, using that deep core strength. And we can add on. So let yourself fold, straighten that front leg and bow. And then as you bend, maybe float that back knee. And this time, come halfway forward as you exhale. And maybe float those back toes up off the floor. Stay bent in this right knee, sorry. And then ground. You bring that knee to the floor. Reach your arms high. Now just at your own pace, just move through that half splits, leg straight, that low lunge, high lunge, and warrior 3. It doesn't need to connect with your breath in any certain way. Just make sure you keep breathing. And just move with your strength. Right from your center. See if you can find that awareness in your heart. We'll meet at the top of our mats in a standing balance with our left knee in towards your heart. So you can come into that warrior 3. Your toes can be down. We're going to stand with your left knee up. And just pause, feel your balance. And then let that left knee point straight down at the floor and you can reach back. Grab your left outer hip or ankle. Foot or ankle, sorry. Lift through that right arch. Lift through the crown of your head. And left knee is pointing straight down at the floor. Engage through that left glute. You can reach your right arm up. And then you can find a dancer pose, any amount. Kick that left hand into your left foot. Let yourself find length through your lower back. Come on out. And then just release. Find yourself standing in a mountain pose at the top of your mat. And bring your hands to your heart. Just check in with your breath, with your heartbeat. Notice the difference from one side to the other. And then exhale, release your hands. Inhale and reach high. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right foot back into your lunge. Exhale that right knee down. Now find that engagement through your center so you can draw your legs toward each other. Float your hands by your hips. And then come upright. Reach your arms high. And then straighten through that left leg. And lean halfway forward and bow. And remember, you can pad that grounded knee if you need to. And then inhale up. Let's just do a few times here. With no hands. Just moving from your center. And then maybe next time you come into your lunge, you float that back knee up. Maybe as you lean forward, you can float those right toes up off the floor. Just move slowly with awareness and just cycle through those movements at your own pace. Feeling your stability, moving from your center. Noticing where you're gripping, where you feel stable, where you might engage to find more balance. We'll eventually meet standing on our left foot at the top of our mat with your right knee lifted. So just make your way there through your movement. And then kind of recalibrate. Feel roots grow down through that left foot. Lift through your left arch. And then let your right knee point straight down at the floor. And bend that right heel toward your bum as much as you can without your hand. And then reach for that right foot. Engage through your right glute. Let your right toes point straight down at the floor. Draw your shoulder blades back. Soften those lower ribs down at the same time. Left arm lifts. And then maybe kick right hand into right foot. Let your heart stay forward. Find space in your lower back. You can lean forward as much or as little as you'd like. And then come on up. Release. Rock from side to side. Find your mountain pose. And bring your hands together in front of your heart. And just feel your body from the inside out. Feel the quality of your breath, the quality of strength from left side to right. Does it feel a little more balanced this time? Release your hands. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. And let yourself just sway a little bit from side to side. You kind of find a little bend in one knee and then the other. And then we'll come back down into a standing kneel. So just bring knees to the floor. Have your toes tucked. And then come upright. We're going to really work with our heart opening. But our open heart needs support. So I want you to experiment that with that in your body, right? It does not feel safe for our nervous system just to peel itself open in a completely vulnerable way without protection and support. And it's just like that in our lives and with our faith, with allowing ourselves to feel and know. We need support. Okay. So feel some hugging of your inner, you can imagine you're squeezing something between your inner thighs, sending that behind you. Okay. And let your tailbone draw down towards your knees in a way that is like supportive and responsive, but not rigid. Okay, you still have that 360-degree space to breathe. Reach your arms high. And then like you've got a bar, just pull down that bar behind your head. Draw your elbows in. So your shoulder blades are coming, you know, you've got like these two hands behind your heart, okay? So you feel that support, those little dishes holding your heart. Now I want you to stay here and just plank yourself back and then come back up and then release. Let's do that again. Reach your arms high and then pull that bar down. Draw your shoulder blades together. Feel that lift from the back of your heart, but you've still got some support here. So you're not flaring those low ribs out. And then just let yourself plank back. And then from here, you can push your hips forward and find a little more of a back bend. And then come on up and release your arms. This time, as we come back, your heels are there for you to reach for if that feels nice for you, or you can bring your hands to your lower back. So we'll start the same. Reach your arms up and then draw that bar down. Just engage. So you're engaging your lats on your back. You're lifting your heart here, but you've got this support through your belly. Plank yourself back. And then you can drop your hands either to your sacrum or to your heels. And then let your hips come forward to stack over your knees, opening here in your ustrasana. So hands on your sacrum, hands on your heels, either way. And feel that expansiveness through your heart space. And just let the back of your neck be long, your gaze straight up at the ceiling. I like to bring one hand to my heart, then the other, and head comes up last to come on out. And then untuck your toes and just sit back on your heels. Let your palms face up and just feel the effects of peeling your heart open. Shift your hips over to your right and just let your feet kind of fall however they fall. Bring your right hand behind you, left hand outside your right knee. Just find a really gentle twist here. And then unwind, and we'll just do the same thing to the other side. Left hand behind you, right hand outside that left knee. Twist any amount that feels good in your body. Then we'll just swing our legs out in front of us. Right leg long, left knee bent, foot to your inner thigh. And then I'm gonna face between my legs. Okay. So my pelvis is kind of square with this left shin. Okay. Bring my right hand down inside of my right knee and take my left arm up and over to find a side bended Janu Shirshasana here. And you can deepen this any amount. I like to find some leverage of my arm into my leg and then let your heart open from there. If your toes are available, you can grab them, but I just find it more expansive and interesting if I just reach and let myself breathe through my rib cage. And then you can let this left hand come down. Move your right hand to the outside of that right leg and let yourself bow here. Any amount. So you don't need to worry about getting your forehead to your knee. Let this feel like you've got space through your whole spine. You can drop those left ribs toward that right inner thigh a little. Stay active through your right foot, so my knee and toes are pointing straight up at the ceiling. And then walk your hands up, and we'll just switch sides. So right knee bent, left leg long, and my pelvis is between my legs. Okay. Left hand inside. That left leg, right arm up and over. And you can use some leverage of pushing this left arm into that left leg to twist your heart open. And you can bend into this elbow any amount. But see how expansive you can be through your rib cage, even these left ribs. You're side bending over to your left, but see if you can find space there. And if you like to grab your foot, that's fine. Just find the place that really supports your expansion and opening. Enjoy your breath in and out of your nose. And then drop that right hand down. Let your left hand come to the other side of that left leg and let yourself bow over that left leg. And just think of having one long line through your whole spine. So it's definitely going to curve forward, but see if you can just bring awareness to that and lengthen through your spine instead of crunching into it. And then walk your hands in and come on up. Let's find a cross-legged seat to end. Just take a couple of breaths here. And bring your awareness to your heart. It may even feel good to bring your right hand on your heart, stick your left hand on top. And just come in contact with that place of knowing. Release your hands. And just notice how far that energy of your heart space can reach. Not in a tangible way, but just in a sensing, intuitive, energetic way. What is the projector of your heart sending out? And what is it receiving? Do you know what it is to be aware from that place? And can you let this just be a calibration for your day? So that as you go through your day, you can remember and just periodically shift. What is my heart sending? What is my heart sensing? And what do I really know? And feel free to stay seated. You can lay down and take a few minutes of rest on your back. The divine light in me honors the divine light in you. Namaste, friends. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you for practicing with me.